Hi everyone, and welcome to the data science exercise. Exercise number 1 is the pivot table. You will say, Gleb, stop. Pivot table is not data science, and I'm looking at Google Spreadsheets now. It's not cool. I don't want to learn it. But you know what? That's the foundation of the data science, you see, because today data science, I think, is not like artificial intelligence, neural networks, Elon Musk, Boston Dynamics, etc. So data science is becoming a really trivial skill. Yes, so that's kind of the computational professional. Yes, that's data scientist is the man who is able, a man or a woman who is able to compute anything. Yes, to it could sound a little bit cheesy, but the data scientist, first of all, is a problem solver. Yes, so we like observe some natural phenomena, some natural problem, convert it into numbers, and then calculate. That's what data scientists do. You see, so and the first and the most fundamental tool for analyzing data, yes, and to making sense of data, yes, to like researching data is a pivot table, like it or not. So a pivot table comes from Microsoft Excel, I think, yes, but today we don't do Microsoft Excel anymore. You know, today we do Google Spreadsheets. You see, so and Google Spreadsheets is a very simple tool for solving your kind of small computational problems. Yes, the Spreadsheets is a perfect tool for budgeting your personal finances, for example. Yes, or to making some quick, dirty calculations. I don't know about your future or about your past. And so also it could be a very convenient way to like analyze small data sets, you see. So don't like love it, what I want to say. So, and let's start with example. So let's say we have a table where each row represents one person. And we have, let's say, the column group. Here will be group A. So that's 3 persons in group A, B, and 2 persons in group B. And here we have the information about their salary. So here is, for example, 30 grand, here is the 70 grand, here is the 50 grand. Here is, let's say, 20, and here is 100. Okay, now I want to understand the average salary per group. And that's the perfect task for a pivot table. Here is in Google Spreadsheet, we could use data pivot table. Let's use new sheet. It's more convenient. So you do not mess with original data in any way. Here is, if I want groups in my rows, yes, because I want to group them by this group. And now in values, I will add salary and calculate the, I change this function. Now I can see the total salary, yes. If I want the average salary, I switch it to average. That's it. So very convenient tool. For example, if I want to understand the number of persons in each group, I could add another column, and if I want to perform a count, it actually doesn't matter what column I want to add. Let's say group, and by default, you see I have count. So 3 persons here, 2 persons here, perfect. That's the first type of data we could analyze with a pivot table. Yes, so that's kind of real number. Salary is a real number from minus infinity to the plus infinity, and continuous real value, you would say. But we can analyze the second type of data. That's kind of proportion. Yes, let's say we have an information about if person if person fun or no fun. Let's say this person is fun, this no fun, this no fun. This person is fun, this person is no fun. Now I want to understand the proportion of fun people in each group. So that's again the task for a pivot table. I go to the pivot table. Here I need to update the range, and Google suggests me that I have the column C6 now. The cell C6 is the like the lower bound of my pivot table. And now I could add here in values I have this fun, and now to understand the proportion of fun people, the fraction, I change it to the average. You see, and here this proportion you could interpret it as a percentage, but for me it doesn't matter. I never like convert this into percentage, but it's like one click. You see. So here is the 33%, and here is the 50. Okay, so that's how we use pivot table. And there is another feature of a pivot table, and we could add groups into columns. Let's rename this group to just make it more sense. Group 2 here. For example, CD, CD. So now we have two types of groups. Let's go to the pivot table, update the range. Boom. And now I can add this new group 2, into columns. You see, columns, group 2. And you see this table become a mess. So, and let me show you just how it, for example, only for accounts like this. Salary and fun. You see, only for accounts. So now we have, this is kind of cross table. And I personally do not like these cross tables, and I never use this feature. Only when my boss asks me, yes, but you better, only boss, manager, project manager, I don't know, marketing person could want this, column table in your pivot table. You're, as a data scientist, as a staff guy, you never use them, you see. And you refuse to do it all the time, because that's like not cool, you see. So here is the example of a pivot table in Google Spreadsheet. Now, why I call this video exercise? Yes, data science exercise number 1. Because after this video, if you want, you can repeat all these steps by yourself. Yes, just do it yourself. Absolutely same thing. And you can consult my video if you like forget what you're doing. And imagine that you are explaining this for someone. Yes, for your friend or for your grandma, I don't know. So, and speak to yourself out loud. Yes, it's very, very useful way, and very very good way to learn something. Yes, you kind of trying to explain it for someone, you see. But if you don't want to do it, like, that's your choice, you see. You can just watch my videos, that's it. Okay, so now we understand intuition behind the pivot table. That's very useful tool. We can analyze real values, we can analyze fractions. And now let's go and do it in Python, because anyway, Python is the core technology for modern data scientists, yes, or computational professional, computational thinker, yes, or you would say human computer, yes, because we are kind of some cyborgs now, yes, and we are very, very tight symbiosis with a machine. So, and the Python is a very, very good way to like communicate with your machine. And I will use Google Colab. Google Colab is it's a service from Google, and that's the Python like Jupyter, but on the cloud, and you can use it as easy as a Google Spreadsheets. Yes, so it's just one click away from you, and have been all this time. Import Pandas as PD. That's the most popular library for analyzing data, and I think maybe not the most popular, just the one. You see, because I don't know people who use something else. Okay, so and before playing with data, we have create this data, and we can do it the same way as here. Yes, just manually. Just manually. Let me show you how. PD df equals data frame. And data frame accept the dictionary, yes, not this curly braces. So here's group one, and I remember A, B, B. And never write long lines in your code, yes, always like short line, test it, then add something, yes, so that's the way avoiding the errors. The second one, salary. Salary, I don't remember the data, so let's cancel this stuff. 30, 70, 50, 30, 70, 50, and here is the 20 and 100. I remember it like this. Now format your code a little bit, make it a little bit more beautiful. Cool. Second, the third column. The third column is fun or no fun. And here is the pattern of fun, no fun, no fun, fun, no fun, like this, yeah? Let's check it out. Yep. Cool. And the last one is the group 2. Group 2. And group 2 is, let's see, CD, CCD. C, D, C, C, D. And you see here, here is the way, yes, as I suggest for you. It's like I also teach you kind of how to explain stuff, you know, and you can explain it basically to yourself, because I do it very often, yes. I just start to play with something and I try to make sense, and I speak out loud to myself even without recording, yes. And my wife sometimes thinks that I'm a crazy person. And maybe she's right. So now there are two ways of doing pivot table in Python, in Pandas. So first one is pivot table. Pivot table. Here is instead of rows we use index. So group 1, and values we use values. So here's I want salary, and I want fun. I always want fun. You see, it worked. But by default, Pandas calculate the mean, yes, the average. So, but we can manage it. We can control it. So here is the argfunc. And for example, I may want to have total salary. Salary, I want, for example, mean sum to get the total salary for each group. Oh, I just accidental square brackets here. You see, and same stuff for fun. Here is the mean. But if I want to, for example, have total salary and the mean salary, I also can have it like this. Cool, yeah. Also, if I want to have these feature columns, yes, that your manager may want, but if you are a cool guy, you will never use it. Columns equals group 2. I'm sorry. Unexpected keyword columns like this. But this pivot table is unreadable. You see, only your manager can read it. I don't know how they do it, really. So, and there is a second way that I like the most. It's a group by. Group by. Group. Here's I use, let's just repeat this stuff. Salary and fun. It's just check. And here is the, I have the AG. And now I could pass the same stuff here. Invalid syntax because I just forget curly brace. That's it. So there is a result is the same, but the syntax is more clear for me. And if you want like a second group, you could add it in rows. It just will be kind of multi-level grouping, nested groups. You could call it like this. And I think that's a much better way to represent your pivot table if you want like several groups instead of having this stupid columns feature. Yes, you use like this. You see. So now you understand how to do a pivot table in Pandas. And that's the second part, yes, of a pivot table for a data scientist. So first of all, you should be able to do it in a spreadsheet. Second one in Python, and the third, you should be able to do it in SQL. And let's do it. And in Python we have SQL inbuilt, and you can find it SQLite 3. I have checked if SQLite 3 have inbuilt function pivot table, because some functions, some databases does. SQLite 3 Python, because I just want the like hello world, find the hello world of this database. So that's how you start the database. Import and create the new database. That's it. And this database is file based, so all the data will store in this file. But you, if you're like playing with data, don't worry about it. Yes. So after you closing your Colab environment here, yes, this file will be destroyed. If you want to like save it on your Google Drive, or after your exercises, download it from here. Okay. Now we have to upload this data to this data frame to this database. You could do it very simple to SQL. The name here, for example, pivot data, pivot data. Here is the connection. That's how you Pandas communicate with the database. And index equals false, because we don't want to pass these incremental numbers into the database because they are useless. Now check. To check, to retrieve the data from the database, we use PD, read a SQL, and SQL wants the SQL string with a code of SQL. So we have to write it, of course. Yes. So here is the select start from pivot data T. T is an ls. Here is SQL and connection. And now I have retrieved this data from the database. For example, I can prove to you that that is SQL and it works. For example, I could rename this column as hello. So now it's absolutely legitimate SQL code, and you can work it like this. Now, yes, you should appreciate the smooth flow between Pandas and SQL. Yes, and you should use it. It's very powerful because you can like switch your tools, because sometimes it's better to perform something in SQL, sometimes it's better in Pandas. Yes, it's good. You could like put your data back and forth between these two technologies, between these two tools. Very, very convenient. Okay, and now usually I wrap this function, this long function in some beautiful function. I usually call it select. Define select SQL return like this, and now I can use this function instead of this long Avada Kedavra. I just have a typo. Good. Now I'm ready to do a pivot table. So let's do a group 1. That's my group, and here I want average salary, AVG salary, and we should use salary as salary, and let's just check this code. Oh, it is incorrect because when you use group by in SQL, you should like use group by function. You see, group by clause, you would say, to group by T group 1. Yeah, now I have it as rename the column. Yes, salary AVG, very easy. And if I want on the second one, it's again AVG as T fun, as fun. We could call it proportion, prop. That's it. Now, if I want to add the count 1, for example, yes, if you want to count rows, and I will count 10, and here will be the count of persons in each group. And here you can use anything. For example, star. SQL doesn't care. If you want to count the rows, yes, you can use anything. Count some number, doesn't matter, or even some string. For example, hello. Absolutely same stuff. The convention in this case to use is star or the 1. So that's how you do a pivot table in SQL. So now, yes, you have 3 parts and three ways to do a pivot table. First one is a traditional one, is a spreadsheet. Second one is more Python, is Pandas, yes, and the third one is a SQL. I encourage you to try it yourself, to play it, to like maybe upload some of your data. Yes, for example, if you are analyzing it in spreadsheets, upload to Colab and start and try to play with it. It's very useful for your experience and building your computational skills. Yes. So thank you for watching. See you guys. Have fun.